but my senses were tingling.
Senses.
So I saw it. So then I had to try to get it and squish it. Hate those things. He's like, is there anything you can catch it in? I'm like, the only thing this thing's catching is death. I hate those things.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up. Wanna give a motherfucker sucker, put your hand up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 98 of the ScruffCast. I'm Dan.
And I'm John.
And it's episode 98, as we obviously just told you.
We are getting closer.
Two away from 100.
It's getting it's almost making me a little nervous.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I never thought I never thought we'd make it there.
Yeah, you know what? Neither did I. You know what I'm hoping for? Now, this is a hope and a prayer. I'm hoping we can get back in the studio for episode 100. You know?
That is a hope and a prayer. But that would be nice.
Technically, we could right now. What is it? Social gatherings are at 5?
Yeah, but we just respect the rules.
We're only 2.
Right?
We do respect the rules. But if they loosen it just a bit, oh boy.
Sorry, ladies. I know you're looking for bad boys, but not on this podcast.
Not us.
No.
So how's your quarantine been going?
I was going to say, we're hanging in there.
Everybody's hanging in there still, huh?
Yeah. It was a nice... weather was really nice yesterday. Obviously, we're recording this on Monday like we normally do. And I went out for a walk like I try to do every day. Normally, I save it for after dinner, like that old man post-meal digestion walk, right?
Yep.
Help get the fiber flowing. But
have a nice strong poop later in the evening.
Exactly. But the weather was so nice, I was like, I'm going to go out for a walk, nice lengthy walk during the day, in the afternoon. So I went out for a walk with Taryn. Dude, there were so many people out there. And fair enough, we were also out there. That's how I'm seeing these people. But I see people setting up the lawn chairs on on the front lawns, obviously. I trying to stay in them, using air quotes here, 6 feet away. And I'm like, man, first day of nice weather and everybody's packed out here. There's no way it's going to last.
Dude, that's the way it goes. Back in, I think it was March. It was early March, right before the start of all this kind of went down. And it was one nice day. It was 12 degrees outside. But it was that first nice sunny day. So we decided to go to my parents' house and we were going to go to High Park. So we drove in there. And so we drive in or whatever. And then all of a sudden we're kind of in a line of cars, right? So, okay, whatever. Dude, this line went from Bloor pretty much all the way to Queen or the Queensway.
Oh, wow. And this is
all through Hyde Park. It was a line of cars.
And this was
people
after,
trying to
the Corona stuff sort of started?
No, it was right before. Right before everything got real serious.
Once they shut down sports, that's when we knew it's serious.
Oh, yeah. That's when people lost their minds. But yeah, so we tried to go for a walk there, and obviously didn't happen because we couldn't even find a parking spot. We just literally drove in and drove out the other side.
Yeah, especially after being stuck inside for so long and having to deal with the shitty Canadian winters as it is. Once that warm weather's here, you're not going to keep people inside. No way.
No way. Everybody wants to go outside.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day yesterday.
It was.
Alrighty. Shall we get into the first email? I say the first email is if we have multiple. This is the only one.
I'm glad you clarified it because I was thinking, the listeners are gonna be like, "Ooh, more than one email."
Oh, more than one? No, just one. And it's been a little light the past couple of weeks, I'd say. But
yeah, well, we did have that extra beefy one from Chris. Maybe he scares the listeners because his emails are so well. First off, they're received by us. We always praise them.
Oh, that too, yeah.
So I wonder if he sets the bar too high.
He's a good writer. I wish people could see the emails he sends in. He uses punctuation things that I don't even know what they're used for, but he uses them properly.
He's using italics. He's got bulleted lists sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. We got to post one up one day on the social medias. You know what I've been thinking of recently? Now I don't want to tell my wife this because I'm always bugging her about it, but I'm thinking about getting on Instagram.
Dude, I keep telling you, that's
I know
all the memes are.
I know. I'm thinking about it. No, but I don't want to fall into that trap. I don't want to fall into the trap of, being on Instagram every second of my goddamn life. I don't want to fall into that. I want to post some stuff. I want to see what my friends are doing. I want to like their posts, and then I want to be done with it.
You can do
know,
that.
'cause I
It's
feel
just
like
you need the restraint to not fall into the meme hole.
I know. I feel like I'm missing out on life a little bit by not having it. Like, because everybody's got it, right? Like especially right now, it's like you're not seeing anybody. You can't like check up, and like, you know, as we get older, people are doing their own things. It's not so easy to know what they're up to at all times, right? Like I was telling you a story earlier of our friend who was building a deck this weekend, and this is like one of my good friends. He was a groomsman, for God's sakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guy's building the deck. I didn't even know he was building the deck. I feel like that's something I should have known. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
but he posted on Instagram.
You're right. As you get
found
older,
out from Anna, so I gotta get it. I gotta get Instagram now. I don't have to.
If you want to avoid the real trap, is what the kids call TikTok. So I mentioned it a couple times, but dude, Taryn is hooked on this.
Oh yeah, I know. I'll get there in like maybe 8 years. I might get a TikTok.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we? Email.
Oh, we're talking about how everyone can follow us on the various social medias on Twitter, like at ScruffCast, or on Instagram at the ScruffCast.
That's right. All right, here we go.
Memes. Mm-hmm.
Subject: great podcast as always. Hey, Scruffs. Hope you both have been staying safe and are both COVID free. I actually had an idea for your top 5 in case you guys are struggling for an idea. Now, before we proceed with this, we obviously never struggle. Before we proceed, we're going to save his suggestion to the end because we're actually using it as our top 5. So we're not going to give it away just yet.
See, that could be you guys if you write into scruffcast@gmail.com.
It's really that easy. You give us an idea, we're gonna use it. Like that's it. All right. In regards to your top 5 from last week, here's my top 5 dream careers. I forgot we did dream careers last week. Number 5.
Week.
Oh my God, has it ever? And the thing is, too, it's like we did Zoom on Saturday. We played Jackbox on Zoom.
Yeah.
With a couple friends of the show.
Yes, Anthony and Kaylon.
And their significant others.
But
it
it
feels
felt
like
it was a week ago.
It feels like that was a week ago. So it feels like the last episode of this was 7 weeks ago. Okay, number 5, optometrist. This one is a bit of a weird one. But as someone who's worn glasses for 20 plus years now, I've grown a weird interest in eyes and eyewear. I think it'll be cool to help people see better and clearer. Also, it would be funny to see people whimper when they can't get when they get the air in the eye.
Have you ever gone for an eye test where they blow the air in your eye?
I went for one eye test like 5 years ago, and I don't remember.
I've been in a pretty similar boat. I also went for an eye test a couple years back, and I also don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know it's a thing that happens, but I do not remember at all.
Well, what is it? What is it for? Why did they blow the air in your eye? See if it's going to fall out?
Yeah. We just want to see if you flinch. It has nothing to do with the eye test. We're just curious to see if you can handle having air blown into your eyes. All right. Number 4, cafe owner. I love coffee and exploring different types of coffees. If I could provide a place for people to kick back and enjoy a great cup of coffee or tea, then that seems like a win for me. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Very cozy vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. Number 3, travel writer. I'd love to be able to travel all over and write articles for a magazine or newspaper about the experiences. Being able to travel on someone else's dime and experience a lot of different cultures would be a dream.
It's another good one.
That is the bachelor's dream right there, you know?
Yeah.
I like that one. Number 2, late night host. Ooh, I like this one. I'm surprised you didn't put this one on your list.
Yeah,
John.
this one should have been on my list.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's similar to a podcaster, but having watched guys like Stephen Colbert, David Letterman, and Johnny Carson, all 3 were late show hosts. Looks like a fun job to do. You get a band, interview all the celebrities, and crack jokes about anything and everything. ScruffCast would be my first guest. A booyah.
That'd be sweet. Dude, we could be like just a recurring segment.
Yeah.
Like once a week, ScruffCast Wednesdays or whatever.
Yeah. Bring us on. We promote our newest episode.
Let us know.
That's all the ideas I have. Well, a lot has to happen in that. Like this guy has to, become a talk show host. When realistically, it's only his number 2 for his dream career. So,
hey, I mean, sometimes you don't always hit the number 1, and you end up with the number 2.
Number 2 would still be pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1, pro musician. Similar to Danny, the dream of making it, playing music would be huge. Not only would it be amazing to play in front of thousands and tens of thousands of fans, but also being able to play the best gear and signed as an artist for different brands would be super dope. Yeah, that was like because obviously being a rock star was my number one on my list too. And so like back in the day in high school and stuff, I was like very into like, all the music brands and stuff like that. Right now, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore, right? Because I don't really follow it, but and I remember that being like such a cool thing. Oh man, it's so cool to get signed by this, because it's like a pro athlete, right? Like LeBron James is signed by Nike. It's like a drummer for a famous band is signed by like one of the the famous like the big drum lines or cymbal lines, right? It's the same thing. Same with the guitarists and everything.
That's like I remember back in the high school days, the professional Halo players signed. It was like signed to a 5-year contract by Red Bull. For like 250,000 or something, and it was like that's the dream.
I know. Alrighty, I'll leave the long emails to Chris. Just wanted to say thank you for the COVID entertainment. It's definitely helping. Ian,
thanks,
thank
homie.
you so much for
We always appreciate hearing from you.
We do,
and it's glad to hear that we're helping.
Media planning specialist. What a job title, eh?
He sent this from his work email.
Yeah, he did too.
It's a fancy sounding job title. Is that the fanciest? Probably the fanciest sounding job title of an email signature that's been sent to us. I think.
Hold on, let's find Chris's.
Not to just immediately compare, but
no, but we're comparing. I think he's only sent like one from his work email.
Maybe he was our litigation guy, so I'm just going to search litigate.
Oh, Christopher Aceto. That's definitely his work one.
Yes, because he.
Oh yeah,
dressed in a little more formal.
His regards. Oh, he doesn't have one. He doesn't have a job title. Oh, that's sad, Chris. Oh man, what? Well, isn't this embarrassing, huh?
We just spent all that time, and we don't cut anything out of this.
No, we don't. This is not going to get into. Chris, we know you have a job title. Let us know what it is.
Yeah, we're curious.
Do you have a job title, John?
Software engineer.
That's like your official title there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty bougie.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
It's like an engineer, but without really being an engineer.
An engineer for software. You're engineering the software. That's legit.
Well, it sounds better than like software developer. It's lame.
It does. Engineer sounds much better than developer.
Yeah, there's like a technical difference between the two. I don't know. Engineers usually are more related to how stuff is built and stuff. But anyways, whether I do it or not, that's my official title. So
yeah, fair enough. Especially during these work from home times.
Yeah.
Like how many people we know there's people like I think Ian's working from home, and Chris, he's also working from home. How much work are you guys getting done? The people who are working from home, because by the stories John tells me, it's not a whole lot. So I'm curious.
Well, the thing is,
what else is doing?
It depends on the particular job, right? I really want to know it's going to come through because the connection's getting spotty. Yep, we got him back. Depends on the particular job because, like, as a programmer or software engineer, you don't sit down and write code for 8 hours, right? It's kind of just
no. It's like every job, though,
chunks,
like that, right?
Yeah. Well, they've done different experiments, like on shortening the hours of the workday to different amounts.
Yeah,
like the 5-hour workday or like the 4-day work week and stuff. And I don't know. A lot of people seem to think like that ends up being more productive because like of the 40 hours a week, like how many do people actually spend, solely working, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
like it's just kind of arbitrary. Like who just invented like, well, yeah, you're gonna work 5 days and take 2 days off, like with the typical schedule anyway.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of shitty.
I think ideally for me, I would love a 4-day work week, 10-hour days.
Yeah,
if you're still trying to get your 40 in, 10-hour days, 4 days a week, 3 days off.
Yeah, because then at least you have that 1 day in the middle that's sandwiched by a free day on both sides, right? Like with the traditional week, you got the Saturday and you're like, man, I just worked yesterday. And then the Sunday, you're like, man, I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be like a long weekend at all times.
Yeah.
Imagine having the Friday off. You had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. You go
Dude.
to cottage. You just go up Thursday after work to your cottage. Boom. That'd be unreal.
Dude, Thursday would be the new Friday.
Thursday would be the new Friday. TGIT. Tidged. All right. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot. We don't have a whole lot to give you guys this week, as we usually don't, because like you guys, we have nothing going on in our lives.
I know,
Literally
like-
nothing.
Even before, it'd be like, would run through the regular podcast routine, right? Take the train, you pick me up. Be like, how was your week, right? We didn't really have much to say in those times. Nothing really. Now we really have nothing.
Yeah, at least you'd be like, oh, I went to the store the other day. You can't even say that now, unless you're going
No.
grocery shopping. That's it.
Yeah,
so
that's why we appreciate all the emails we get. Thank you, Ian.
that's right. Much appreciated. I do have, believe it or not, an Anna sleepwalk talk story. Now, you may remember, what was it, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now? I said we're gonna have a new segment where I tell of all Anna's crazy stories about her like sleep talking. I don't even know what to call it because like she's awake. This is the thing. She's not sleepwalking. She's not sleep talking. She's fully awake, but she still thinks she's dreaming. This is the thing. And she doesn't, it takes her a little bit to realize she's not dreaming. So I'll tell you the story I have here. Finally, I have one. Now, this story in particular, I didn't realize, because first off, this happened like the middle of the night. I was asleep. So sometimes, like usually when I catch her, it's like when I come in, if I go to bed later than her and she's already asleep, kind of me coming in and waking, like kind of wakes her up. And then she kind of starts talking about whatever's going on in her dream. So it's more noticeable. The ones that happen at night, like she doesn't always wake me up, I guess, right? So, but this one she did. So it's like 12:30, 1 in the morning. And she wakes up and it wakes me up. And she flicks her light on, like her lamp. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And she's like, there's a spider in the bed. I'm like, there's a spider in the bed? She's like, yeah, like I saw it crawling. So at this point, she's standing up. She's like at the foot of our bed. And so I'm like, what? I'm like, where? I'm half asleep, right? I'm kind of up. Where the hell's the spider? I saw it crawling. It was on the lamp and then it was in the bed. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, so I'm like, I start picking up pillows at this point, right? So she like stops and she just like comes back and just gets into bed and lays down, right? And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? There's a spider in the bed. We got to get the spider, right? And then eventually I'm so tired. I'm just like, screw it. I'll just let it crawl into my ear. You know what I mean? I'm too tired to even deal with this right now. So it didn't hit me until the morning that I was like, there was no goddamn spider. She was doing the sleep thing, right? And so she says to me, like, in the morning or whatever, right? She's like, did I say something about a spider last night? I was like, yeah, you did. So I explained the whole thing to her. She's like, yeah. She's like, I realized, like, by the end of it that I was just like, it was one of the dream things again. I was like, yeah, well, why didn't you tell me that? Because I was still in the dark. I didn't know. I thought there was a goddamn spider in the bed.
Yeah, so then you had to fall back asleep thinking about it, like
thinking about the spider.
Every
right?
little twitch of your leg hair, like
oh, it's the worst. Like I was telling you the other day, I saw that wolf spider.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago now. Did I talk about that in the podcast at all?
No, you didn't. Not on the podcast.
These are the riveting stories we bring you here.
This is the quarantine life
specials. Yeah, I saw a wolf spider. I don't know if anybody knows what a wolf spider is. I had to Google it.
A spider the size of a wolf.
The most terrifying. Oh my god! I'd have a baseball bat out there, man. That thing would have to die. It was the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life. It was like, you guys can't. If I do hand gestures, you guys can't see it anyway. So
like compared to an object, like was it bigger than a toonie?
Yes, it was by a significant amount. Yeah. So I saw this thing, and it was like on this concrete wall outside, like our house door, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell is that?" Like, so I Googled it. I was like, are there poisonous spiders or like largest spiders in Canada? I think that's what I searched. So one of them was like the dock spider, which I've heard are massive. But then there's this one. It was called a wolf spider. So I look at a picture. I'm like, this is the exact spider. This is the one I'm seeing right here. So sure enough, these things bite.
Ew.
Yeah, man. And these freaking things bite. So I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And they do have like a venom, a poison. Apparently it can't kill a human, but Jesus Christ, get the shit out of me. And it was like, I was about ready to go to bed too. I was just going out to have a smoke. And I was like, oh, God damn it. So like I laid in bed, like I just like, oh my God, every time, like,
I hate that.
the duvet, like, boop, taps your leg funny. It's like, gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Dude, that's like the other day I saw one of those house centipedes, which is like
Yeah.
top 5 things I hate. And it was in our bedroom. And in our bedroom, we have like a bulkhead that runs along like one of the walls, right? So the ceiling's a little lower at that spot. It was like right up
Yeah.
against like the flat surface, sort of like not parallel to the ground, parallel to the walls. If this is making any sense. And it was there. So I'm like, shit, I got to catch this thing. It wasn't too big. Oh, Dan seems to be panicking because he may have lost his. Yeah, we can hear you. Why do you panic?
wait,
We
no.
got it all
No.
under control.
Oh no, it changed back. I don't know. My computer was just like, "Oh, we're gonna change to your headphone mic now," and then it just told me, "No, we're going back to your regular mic." So, oh man, I can't wait to get back to the studio.
Wait, are you coming to the regular mic now or no?
Yeah, I think so. It said I was back. Hold on, let me check here.
All right. Well, I'll continue with my story of the centipede. So, anyways,
I'm on the good mic. I'm on the good mic.
All right. So I, tried to catch the centipede, and it wasn't too big. We'll say it was like, I don't know, centimeter long.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to go squish it with the, little bundle of toilet paper. And Terrence's like, "Did you get it? Did you get it?" And I'm like looking in my hand, and I'm like in the paper, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't see it in there." But maybe I missed it and it fell. Maybe I'll just pretend I got it, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm walking, dude. I see it's like it was crawling on my hand. I was like, ah! So, and I smack it off of my hand, and it flies into a laundry basket of Terrence's clothes. She goes, "What the hell?" So then we had to dump the laundry basket over and shake out every piece of clothes. We never found the thing again.
Well, at least it was dirty clothes, not clean clothes, right?
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
like,
You know what? Like, I'm not a big fan of like killing spiders and stuff like that. Not for like any moral reason.
Of course.
But like they do a lot for like, the ecosystem and stuff, right? There are friends, not foes. But
I know,
but those house centipedes deserve death, though. The most gruesome of death. If I could pick one up and put a little noose around it, I'd hang the bastard.
And you'd leave his body there as a warning to the other traders.
Yeah, a warning to the rest of them.
Well, the thing is, it's like, yeah, I know that they're good for the, overall health of the biome, if you will. But it's like, what are you doing trespassing in my home? So I was squished him. I said, "Get out of my house."
Yeah, show him who's boss. I like that.
Exactly. Taryn will try to catch bugs because so I have a fireplace in my living room, and I was laying on the couch. Me and Taryn were watching TV last night. It's dark, but I could just see something in the corner of my eye crawling on the front of the fireplace. Another one of those house centipedes. This is a big one. This one was probably like, I'll say 3 centimeters long. Right. Okay. And I'm like, fuck, like what? If I didn't see it, then it could have lived on its merry way. But, my senses were tingling.
Senses.
So I saw it. So then I had to try to, get it and squish it. Hate those things. He's like, "Is there anything you can catch it in?" I'm like, the only thing this thing's catching is death. I hate those things.
Yeah, man.
So
I remember
what's going on in my life.
I told you about the time where I saw the Spider-Man spider.
Yes, not on the podcast though. I don't think.
Okay, so. I saw one of them spiders that turns you into Spider-Man. Like it gives you the bite, you turn radioactive, and you're shooting webs out of your wrists all of a sudden. And it was outside. This one I lived with my parents. It was outside the garage. I was going to hockey, so I opened up the garage door and I look up at the corner, and there's a spider. I swear to God, this thing was blue, yellow, and red. Its body. It was like the fattest body on a spider I've ever seen. I was like, Jesus Christ! So I knew. If I went inside and told my parents, my mom would be like, "Oh, don't kill it. Oh, he needs to live, blah, 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 whatever." But I was like, this thing needs to die because
the good of the human race.
Exactly. Like this thing will go on to kill people. So I called my dad. Like I called him. I was like, "You got to come outside." So he comes outside. I was like, "Look at that thing." And he looked at it. He's like, "We need to kill it." I was like, "Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad we're on board here." So we had to like smack it down with a broom. Oh, it was terrifying, man. It was so scary.
If you had to get bit by a radioactive animal that wasn't a spider, which is, I guess, technically an insect, but what would you choose? Assuming you get like similar powers, like how Spider-Man got his from the spider.
Like what kind of animal would you want to get their powers?
Yeah.
Oh,
radioactive animal that bites you.
Like I'll survive the bite, right?
Yeah, it might be a little painful though.
Okay, I'll say like a tiger.
Tiger. I
Yeah,
was thinking like a bear, but like
because I want
even
the
bite would
powers of a
hurt.
tiger.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it would rip my arm off. Ah! But at least I have his powers. I just have one less arm now.
Dude, one sweet power you get from tigers is that the bottom of their paws are like covered in fur, so they can walk around silently.
Oh,
Then you could always
smart.
get up and go for those midnight snacks. And Anna will never know.
That's a good one. So never know. I'm not really fasting.
Yeah, as an update for the listeners, we haven't talked about the fasting in a while.
Yeah, it's still going on.
Yep, I've been doing it since the beginning of March.
I've lost 52 pounds so far. No, I'm just kidding. I obviously have not, but
You didn't even leave the pause for the joke to settle.
no, because it wasn't even worth it wasn't worth it. I've zoomed with too many people. They know I have not lost that weight.
Yeah.
I got a funny tale actually. I should tell now. You know what? It's just me laughing at my own joke, really. But I'll tell you the joke.
That's the ScruffCast.
So yesterday we were over at Anna's family's house, social distancing, keeping the gathering to less than 5, obviously.
Of course.
So her mom has this like I don't even know what you call it. It's like this little. I'm sure women know what these are called, but it's like this little like container that heats up wax. Okay, and you stick your hands in it, right?
Okay, yeah, I know what
You gotta know what this is. You stick your hands in it and you pull it out. You like the wax dries. You wrap your hand in like cling wrap or saran wrap, and then you put the oven mitts on, right, to keep them like warm or whatever, right? And then you take it off and it makes your hands like a lot softer or whatever it may be, right? So her mom's got one of these. She's always like encouraging us to do them, whatever, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, sounds good. So I've done it a couple times now, right? So I did it yesterday, and so after I was done, Anna wanted to do it. So you kind of have to have like another person there helping you like put the wrap on and stuff, right? So, where was I? Yeah, so I'm finishing up with Anna's, right? So since she can't really use her hands for anything, she's got the oven mitts on. I was kind of just like screwing around with her, like woohoo, whatever, right? And she's just like, okay, put the lid. There's like a plastic lid that goes over top to keep the heat in, right? So I put the lid back on. So I was like, okay. So I kind of like put it on and it didn't look. And I look back and it's like half in the wax. I was like, shit. So I like pull it out, right? So all while this is going on, Anna's mom is like feeding Leo his bottle before bed, right?
Yeah.
So she's in the other room. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, hey, we got to clean this wax off of this thing, right? So like the wax is like starting to harden. So it's like impossible to, I was like, oh my God, I'm like cleaning it with a towel. I'm like getting like soap and water. Nothing's working. So I was like, fuck, what do I do, right? So Anna's like, don't worry, just leave it. Just leave it. I was like, just like tell your mom it was you. Don't say it was me. Just say it was you. I don't know why, right? So she's like, yeah, okay, sure. So we come downstairs. So Anna's mom's downstairs by this point, right? So she's in the kitchen. So Anna goes to the kitchen. I decide to go out for a smoke. So I go for a smoke, and I know right away. I'm like, Anna's gonna tell her mom, and she's gonna tell her it was me. That's just the way Anna is. She likes to put me on blast like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever, not a big deal. Let me come up with something funny at least, right? So I come back in the house, right? And Anna's mom and her upstairs now. So I'm like, okay, whatever. They're checking it out. So they come down, and Anna's like, oh, yeah, like I told my mom that you dip the thing in the wax. She says she does it all the time. Her dad just cleans it. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal, whatever, right? I was like, yeah, I guess you could say we had a bit of a waxident up there. It was funny.
That was a good one. Made me laugh.
Yeah, I thought so, too. I had to tell the whole drawn-out story just to hit that punchline.
Well, it's like, have you ever heard the Norm Macdonald moth joke?
I have. Yeah, someone.
I think it was Ian sent us an
email. It was Ian sent it in, and we looked it up. Yeah, we looked it up together. Which, yeah, it really was funny.
Yeah, it's the long lead in for the punchline.
Yeah.
Speaking of bugs and stuff like we were talking about earlier, have you heard of these murder hornets that have made their way to the U.S. for the first time?
Yeah. COVID and murder hornets all coming from China. Those bastards.
It's been one hell of a year.
I know, man.
But yeah, for the listeners who might be unaware, murder hornets is like a nickname for them, but they're these large ass bugs, right? Like a wasp type thing or hornet, I guess. And man, they're probably like the size of the average person's thumb. That's what they look like anyway. These things are huge.
Yeah, I'd say they're like an inch to an inch and a half big for sure. Yeah. Which like for a bee or something is massive. Like,
yeah. And I don't know if they're like deadly to humans, but apparently they just like, they are really.
Yeah, they are.
They just like totally wreck like the honeybee population.
Yeah, they kill 50 people a year in Asia.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read somebody said like their personal account of getting stung by one, it felt like a red hot thumbtack.
Oh yeah, I
and
heard
stabbed
that
into
too.
them. Very
Yeah,
on
it
brand
sounds
for
lovely.
2020.
Yeah, why not? Just give us some of those murder hornets
Yep.
now, huh? Oh, speaking of like the COVID and stuff, did you hear about the 3 Russian doctors falling from windows in the Russian hospitals?
No, I didn't hear about this.
No, dude, this is classic Putin stuff. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
So first it started with 2 doctors, right? So 2 of them came out and like kind of like complained that their hospitals weren't prepared yet to deal with the COVID, this and that, whatever, right? They magically both fell out of windows and died out of the hospitals, right? So a third person came out and complained, like, oh my god, like, we're not ready for this. They're making me work while I have COVID. I'm trying to treat other people while I have the disease, but they're forcing me to come here. That guy fell out of a window magically too.
Oh man,
You
they
think
gotta
they
fix
find
these
another way to
windows.
kill these people? I know, right? It's like, oh yeah, they're committing suicide. That's what's going on around here. No way.
No, I hadn't heard about this. I'm not
Yeah,
surprised though.
I heard about this today, and I was like, oh, that's such a Putin job right there.
I'm not surprised. Well, dude, like, could you imagine being like totally in control of a country like that? Like,
Yeah,
and I mean,
it's like
see, the thing
it's
is,
not a
like,
communist country, but it is.
like the thing is, North Korea, like, they don't hide it. They're like, we just are some sort of crazy communist dictatorship, and we run it this way. And they're not
Yeah.
pretending that they're not, right? At least as far as I know. But in Russia, I think like there's an air quotes here, like elections, but no, like Putin never
Yeah,
gets
well,
unelected.
what was it in 2010 or 12 or something? Putin changed the rules so he can extend his term, so he can like keep
Yeah.
being reelected. But like the election happens and he gets like 98% of the vote. It's like something outrageous, which obviously is not the case.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like just scary, like who would want to go against him? Because I've seen clips online of like he loves hockey, right? So
Yeah.
he'll play ice hockey and, of course he's scoring and stuff, but it's like, dude, who is going to check him? You know what I mean? Who's going to
Yeah, I
go
know.
near
Who's
him?
gonna take the puck off him? Like, come on.
Exactly.
That guy's wild. Yeah, he's like he's one of the most interesting people in the world. Because he's a mob. He's like a mob member. That's all he
Yeah.
is. He's a kingpin. That's like, yeah, he's the godfather, but he's running a country.
And it's like a big country too. Like Russia has over 100 million people, I think. And it's like by landmass, it's the biggest country.
And that's
Crazy.
why he can do whatever he wants, because he can just hide shit everywhere,
Yeah, dude. the
Boom,
country's
send it
so
up
big.
to Siberia. Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd love to, like,
Putin.
read a biography of him.
Oh man. 30 years from now when he's dead, I would love to read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty old. He's like in his 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only hope we have for like some of these guys like Trump and stuff. Like Trump's like 70, 2, 3. How many years has he got left? Even if he gets elected another 4, he might not make it through. He might just die.
Dude, it's all old people. Like who Joe Biden, I don't know. How old is he? He's old.
Oh, he's like the same age too. Yeah, 74 or something like that.
Bernie Sanders, I think he's like even older. Dude, even Hillary Clinton was old too. Like 70.
Yeah. She just has her face pinned back. Looking like a complete psycho.
Like those the things you use when you're hemming pants to hold the things in place.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Those
she
instead
does.
of the bobbing pins.
Yeah, she pulls them out. Her face just sags down. Like, remember Futurama?
Yeah.
Those like the what was his name, Mr. Crab or whatever?
Zoidberg.
Not
Mr. Krabs.
Zoidberg. Yeah. Mr. Crab is SpongeBob. That's what he looks like.
See, if you were on Instagram, you'd see SpongeBob all the time because he's big in the memes.
Oh wow! I told you. 6 months later, I get them on Twitter.
Yep. It's funny because there's like, these big social media websites, but all they ever have is just screenshots of the other ones. You go on
Yeah,
Instagram,
I know.
it's just screenshots of Twitter posts.
You go on Twitter, it's screenshots of Instagram posts
Yeah.
or TikToks. You go on Snapchat, it's all TikToks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. All right, you got a Jaime tale for us, John, do you not?
So I got a small little Jaime tale. So I don't know how it would be episode 98 and you're just jumping in now, but for listeners who don't know, Jaime is my dad. And he's very off the grid, right? Not like he's like a prepper, right? Like hiding, from the government or anything, but he's just, he's not online, just out of, this living this simpler lifestyle, right? Doesn't even really
He's got
know
the
what's
corded
going on.
phone. He's got the corded house phone still.
Yeah. So
It's not rotary, but it's still corded.
So he calls me yesterday while I was out on that afternoon walk, and I missed a call. So I answered the voicemail. He goes, "Hey, son, You haven't called me in a week or so, so I don't know. Maybe you're having a good life. All right, call me back. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little passive aggressive, or I don't know if like what you're trying to say here, Dad. I was like, okay. So I call him back, right? And I'm like, oh, I was just out for a walk. He goes, oh, okay. How are you? How's Darren? Yeah, everything's good, good. And then he hits me with a Google request. Oh, what's the population of China?
Okay,
Look it up, dude. And you know what? He called me. This is unrelated, but he called me like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and he was once again for the, I don't know, fourth, fifth time asking me about the show Shooter.
Oh my God,
Right?
he's still on about the show. This was like
Yes.
2 years ago.
Yes, because the last season was in 2018. I've told him this, but the problem was when they were filming the last season, the lead actor broke his leg, so they weren't sure if they're going to finish the season or whatever happened. So my dad, he's got an Android TV box, right? Like he has like IPTV or whatever, and it shows like TV shows, right? And there's like page 1, and it has like 20 shows. So you click the next page. Page 2 has another 20 shows.
Yeah,
he's like under action category or whatever, and he goes, "I'm looking for it, and I'm on page 99 out of 104. I don't think it's here."
Oh my God!
Right? So he just kept scrolling, looking for Shooter, hoping it's showing up.
That's
I tried to explain to him. He goes, "Oh, I can't believe this." But the best, and I think I've told this before, is a couple years back when he's like, "Oh, we should sue them."
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
It's like how could they do this to us?
He was
Cancel
so
the show.
mad he wanted to sue them. Yeah.
Anyway, so this time he calls me, he asks me about the population of China, and I tell him. It didn't say why he wanted to know, but he didn't sound like he was calling in a fury. So maybe this was just knowledge he wanted.
Yeah, just for himself.
Opened up his little book, wrote it
for
down.
future reference. For future arguments.
Yeah. He has those. It's like the contact book, right? It's like a skinny little like leather bound black book.
It's the black book. Yeah,
tabs. Yeah, or, various stuff. What's on special here, what's on special there, stuff like that, right? Those are the things that he likes to write down. So anyway, he calls me. We were talking about, he had went out, did a bit of grocery shopping because I told him, oh yeah, me and Taryn just went the other day. And he tells me, oh, your uncle, because I have an uncle who works in the grocery industry. I don't know why, my pause made it sound like suspicious, like he works in the grocery industry, but he does.
I got an uncle who works in the grocery industry,
but he actually does work in the grocery industry. And he's like, oh yeah, I got there. Oh, it's crazy. In line, 30 people. So I talked to your uncle and he just lets me in through the back. I don't have to wait in line because everybody's waiting outside because of coronavirus.
That's hilarious.
And he's like, yeah, he already had everything set for me and everything. He lets me in the back and I've got my card already. So he's like, so if you need anything, you let me know. You don't have to go and wait in line for so long.
He's got the hookup now.
Exactly. He's like, you don't have to go and wait in line for so long. And I was like, oh, well, we just went the other day, but thanks, Dad. So then sure enough, I get off the phone and I tell Taryn, yeah, we got the hookup in the grocery industry. We don't have to wait in line anymore. But
that's funny.
I actually find that once you get in there, it's not bad.
No, because that's the whole point of the line, right? It's not that the store's that packed. It's just like they're not letting a lot of people in at once, right?
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It is. So anyways, Jaime's doing all right.
Dude, I'm telling you, I will give you my Google Home and set it up in his house. And he literally just has to say, hey, Google, what's the population of China? Boom, it would tell him.
I wonder if you just triggered a bunch of people's Googles there. It would be really nice if you can change the prompt. Because I got a Google Home. Was it I that got it? I don't remember. No, it wasn't me, but my stepdad got one for Christmas. And he's like, oh, can I change it? So I say, hey, John. He's like, I don't have you around to ask you all the questions all the time. But if I got it from my dad, I'd change it to, hey, son.
Hey, son.
But you know what? He'd probably think it's calling me. Right? And I'm getting the thing there.
You're relaying the information to this device, and then the device is telling him.
Yeah. So that's the Jaime update. He's doing all right. He's hanging in there with the coronavirus. He's part of the essential industry, so he's still got to go into work.
Oh, yeah. I know the pain. All right. Shall we move on to the top 5?
Yep. I think we shall.
All right. So this top 5, like we said earlier, came from Ian, who emailed us it. So here we go. This is his idea here. You're the Premier of Ontario during COVID, and the Ministry of Health is now allowing you to open 5 businesses with guarantees that there will be social distancing guidelines. What businesses do you open and why? So, pretty much, you can open up 5 businesses, but you have to kind of be able to assure that you'll be able to, keep social distances. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Sorry,
It
I
is
was
a good
just
question.
pulling up my notes here. All right.
All right.
I will go first. All right. My number 5. Now, the why is tough, but I'm just thinking like, these are the ones I could think of. So my number
Yeah.
5, I put hardware stores. I'm thinking of obviously you've got like Canadian Tire, which I believe was open at first and originally, but then they got shut down when they sort of like shortened the list of essential businesses. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the larger sort of like more renovation focused stores like Rona and Home Depot and stuff like that. Now the reasoning is it's similar to grocery stores. You can limit the capacity, right? So social
Yeah.
distancing guidelines would be, simple enough to set up. You'd limit the capacity, people going in. And those stores themselves are much larger,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people stuck at home, dude, now's the time to renovate.
Yeah, it's true too.
So,
Nothing else you're doing, so.
I mean, in concept, it's not too different from the setup of a grocery store. Obviously, groceries are more important, which is why they remain open. But I just figured like you could probably make it work. Gets a little tricky though about like, larger items and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
People
if
just
you're
don't
going to
do that.
start opening stuff up, it's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Now the thing is, I was reading a little bit about this earlier, but it's kind of like, people think like, oh, opening stuff too early, but it's like until a vaccine's created, everything is too early, right? But the
Exactly,
just
yeah.
but it can't stay closed for like a year,
Yeah.
right?
You got
Like
to start slowly opening things up.
yeah. So hardware stores, that'd be my number 5.
All right. My number 5 is a non-for-profit organization called ScruffCast Incorporated.
Oh.
Goddamn, I just want to get back into the studio. That's really it. Selfish reasons. How we social distance? I don't know. So we're not hugging up and kissing up on each other as it is, so I think we'd probably be okay.
And even if we were, we could sacrifice that. For
Yeah,
the
you
good
know
of
what?
our health.
I'll bring Leo's no touch thermometer. We can do fever checks.
Yeah,
There we go. We're good.
All right, that's a good one.
Thanks.
Spoilers. That's not on my list
Ew.
because I didn't think of it as a business. But it could be a business if you guys wanted to promote your products. Would do ad reads.
That's
Hit
right.
us up. Scruffcast@gmail.com. All right, my number 4. This one's also a little selfish, but I put IKEA, but we'll just sort of roll in furniture and appliance stores.
Okay.
Now, the reason is, a lot of people working from home, because even when things open back up, I imagine a lot of the businesses that can afford to work from home, like, mainly tech companies and like more traditional office type settings, a lot of those people are going to probably work from home for longer than normal, right?
Yeah.
People work from home, they want to spruce up their home office, me included, because I added IKEA on the list of things. Oh, it's top 5 things you want to do after quarantine. I want to spruce up my home office. Now, social distancing guideline. Again, just limit capacity similar to grocery stores. But because of the way IKEA is set up, you can limit the capacity into the specific sections, right? Because they sort of kind of break everything up into chunks. It's like a maze when you go in there. And then you just close the restaurant, even though I would miss those 50-cent hot dogs.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Number 4.
My number 4 is hotels.
Ah, yes.
Now, my thought behind this is like, when you go to a hotel, okay, minus like the fitness room, minus the pools and stuff, let's say you close that, you're kind of quarantined as it is. You know what I mean? You're in your room, you're with whoever you're with. It's not like you're with random people in your hotel room. You're generally with like your family, let's just say, right? So, sorry, I thought we stopped recording there for a second. I don't know, kind of freaked me out. So anyway, and at the end of your stay, they clean the rooms anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You spend a little more time cleaning, a little more time disinfecting, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. But like a hotel, at the front desk, you just set up like a plastic shield as if you're at a grocery store, right? And you're buying your groceries from the cashier. You do the same thing. And I think that could pretty much just,
Yeah, that's true.
Be a not too hard thing to open up.
I think the only like thing with higher risk would be the people cleaning, but I don't think it's any different than like the people responsible for cleaning grocery stores and stuff now, right?
It's the same
So
thing.
maybe
Yeah,
there's the risk
you know
of
what I
like
mean?
people stay and then the people who stay after them. But then maybe you don't open at max capacity, right? And you just have the rooms like sheltered, right? So like
let's
the odd rooms or something, and then
exactly, yeah, or like for whoever stay, right? Okay, so like let's say you have like 50% capacity. Okay, so room 1 is used. Okay, once someone checks out of room 1, instead of someone checking back into room 1, they check into room 2. Room 1 gets a good thorough cleaning. Once someone checks out of room 2, the next couple checks into room 1. Room 2 gets a thorough cleaning. You know what I mean? Boom.
Yeah.
Hotels are open.
Yeah.
Making more money than they're making now.
Just
which
trying
is
to make it work.
$0.
Exactly. Right. And then people can go back to work and stuff like that. So
It is right.
that's a good one. I didn't even think of hotels.
Thank you.
My number 3 is cannabis stores. Now, I'm thinking that here, I'm the government, right? So first off, very similar to the LCBO, right? And it's going to help us make that tax revenue, right? Help pay off all of the money we're spending.
Help pay off CERB.
Yeah, because government's been spending a shit ton of money. This has been an expensive pandemic, right? And it's like, I mean, I don't know. What else are people going to do? If they're not getting it from the stores and paying taxes to us, they'll break the social distancing rules and find it another way.
That's true, too. That's a good one.
Not that I know from firsthand experience, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking of the good of the people.
All right.
My number 3.
My number 3 is restaurants. So this is what I'm thinking here, okay? This is a little more difficult, but obviously you limit capacity. Let's say 50%. So everybody, tables are spaced out, whatever, right? On one side of your table, you have like a drop-down shield, like a plastic shield, like at a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Like how they have like the plexiglass or whatever. So that's where the server kind of like comes and takes your order, right? So there's a bit of a barrier between you two. And then everything else, like they come, they put your food down the table. It is what it is. I think you could do it effectively because you would have like the spacing between you and the next people at your the table over. And you drop down the plastic thing, so you're not like breathing all over the server. They're not breathing all over you, right?
Yeah, and again, you wouldn't be obviously running at full capacity, right?
No, that's same. Yeah, 50%
Space
capacity. Take half those tables out and space everything out, right? And I think you could open back up.
And it's not really any more risky than now when you can get takeout or curbside pickup because you still got to make your food, right?
Yeah, they say, yeah, exactly. So, like, apparently it's pretty hard to transmit it through food, right? Like cooking process and stuff.
Like you try to run through the drive-through, they have the like the debit and credit machine like at the end of a big stick.
Yeah,
Hold it out in your car.
We actually went to Tim Hortons last weekend, and the woman took like, they have like those like plastic like heating trays where they keep like the sausage and stuff in.
Yeah.
She had one of those, and she like put the coffees in there and like held it out for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, right?
All right.
Keep going. All right, my number 2, movie theaters. Now, be very easy. Well, here's an interesting wrinkle I didn't think of till now. They're not airing any goddamn movies.
Can I add something in here?
Sure.
My number 2 was also movie theaters.
Oh, great minds think alike.
Yeah, so we can just talk about this here. Now, I also didn't think about this, that there's no movies even being, put out.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think the first weekend before everything shut down, when movies are still open, the box office gross that weekend was like 5,000 something. Not even millions, because nobody was going to the movies, right? Because I think a bunch of individual ones were starting to shut down and stuff. But my thought was it'd be very easy for social distancing. First off, if you really wanted to be strict about it, you could run just a VIP, right? Because the seats are pretty far apart, and you could just make sure it's just every other seat.
Yeah,
big space, and then maybe you just don't do that little food service.
Yeah, the way I thought about it was like almost like you do like a diamond shape, right? So you have one seat and you do a diamond shape. So the one in front, behind, to the sides, those don't get used, right? So you have like a full circle
like a
around.
Checkerboard.
Exactly. That's kind of the way I thought about like the seating in a movie theater, how to open it up. Now it would be like, what was that, 20% capacity? I guess that would be technically.
Yeah, but it'd be more money than nothing. But I didn't think about the fact no movies are airing.
I also did not think of that.
Actually, like everything just got delayed. Which must also be why I've delayed watching a single one of the James Bond movies.
Obviously, because those are all in theaters and you just can't go see them.
Yeah. If I don't get to go see, what is it, No Time to Die? That's a new one. Then I don't watch any of them. I'll eventually do that, but we'll see.
Your honorable mention?
My honorable mention. So originally, but then I thought it's just too hard to make it work. I thought of gyms, but people are touching stuff. I thought it's too hard.
Yeah, that is too hard.
So then I thought of, well, what about museums? Now, there's not really many museums in Ontario. There's the ROM, Royal Ontario Museum. But that's what I was going with, because I was thinking, imagine if this sort of scenario was applied in other cities or something. Because I think the social distancing would be pretty simple. Again, similar to grocery stores, you just limit the capacity going in, right? Tickets you sell on any given day. And then you're not supposed to touch anything when you're in a museum as it is, right?
True.
And then the spaces are pretty large, right? So they'd definitely be spaced out.
Yeah.
It'd be easy to maintain. And again, it's like the grocery store, right? Like, which that's sort of the example. You just try, it all depends. This all depends on people not being dumb, right?
Yeah.
Just try
It's
to
like
maintain your 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Like,
in the
it's not
grocery
that
stores too,
difficult.
right? You just have to, the people have to take it upon themselves. There's not like police there making sure everybody, stays
Yeah.
apart from each other. You just have to take it upon yourself to do it.
Yeah, which for the most part, most people are pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
One wrinkle, though, I thought of, or a problem is like museums kind of like deal with tourism and stuff, it would entice people to go and stuff, but I'm the premier in this scenario, so I'm doing whatever I want.
All right. My honorable mention. Very selfish. Native American smoke shops. Because I am running out of my cheap cigarettes, goddammit, and I need more. So that's literally it. And how are we going to social distance? One person in the store at a time. Easy. Done.
There you go.
That's it.
So did you have like a supply of smokes before everything went into effect that you're running out of?
No, not because they closed much later than everything else did. They closed like maybe a couple weeks ago, right? So I had 4 cartons, and I gave one to my sister and her boyfriend.
Have you
'Cause at
been
the time I was like, "Oh, I got 3. Why do I need this?"
have you been
or I
trying
had,
to
like,
like
2
ration them, smoke them slower?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I might just quit when it's all said and done. Once I'm done, my
Dude,
last couple packs here.
Now's
Screw
the
it.
chance.
Yeah, I know. So we'll see.
That's a good one. All right, my number 1. Now, I wasn't sure if it should really count because they're already on the precipice of starting to open these up again. But I have a feeling we may be thinking the same thing. Selfish, obviously, but golf courses. Come on, baby.
Obviously, the number 1 choice.
Now,
You know what's funny too is like golf courses leads in to hotel for me, which leads into forest.
yes,
That's why I want the
our-
goddamn hotels
our
open.
annual golf trip.
Yeah.
Now, golf courses would be very easy. So the only time you're around other people is when you go into the pro shop to like start off the round. That's simple enough. They just if you go up to the counter, the people behind the counter just standing further back. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
or everybody pays online.
Yeah, that's true as well.
All fees are paid online, and it's
digital now.
simple as that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you're out there, maybe just everyone's in their own cart, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or everybody has to walk. No power carts. Everybody has to walk, so that way
That's
you can
true.
stay from each other.
I'd even
It's
take
like
walking at this point.
really easy. It's like that's definitely the easiest thing to open up.
Yep, and thankfully, at least here in Ontario, the government has started to move that forward. The golf courses can begin prepping for their seasons. When will we get out there? We'll see.
Another couple weeks, probably. I'm sure they'd be open, which isn't too far off the the normal time. Maybe a month off of when they normally open, right? So
it's just so it's just the beginning of May. But dude, it feels like it's been a long year. Like I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, is it just me or is it taking longer than normal for the leaves to grow in this year?
yeah, dude, that's hilarious because I was looking at a tree the other day and I was like, yeah, there's little buds on them, but I thought by now there'd be leaves,
And I think maybe it's just because the year feels slower. I'm also going for walks every day, so I'm looking outside a lot more.
True. You know what, though? I feel like
that same
spring
thought.
has lasted a long time. It's been like 5 to 12 degrees for like what feels like 2 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where normally spring and fall are like both extremely short. You get winter, you get 2 weeks of spring, and then you're into summer. And then same thing with fall, right? You get like 2 weeks of fall, and then you're into winter. So it's like, it's kind of weird this year. It's like, it's extending, and like this temperatures kind of stay the same. You get the odd day here and there, like yesterday, right? But
yeah, more often you get the odd day where it's actually colder. I was reading earlier today that Ontario, the area here, is supposed to hit like the largest cold anomaly on the planet right now in the next little while, which I guess is just where it's colder than the historical average.
right, I think that's like by the end of the week, it's supposed
Yeah.
to go down to like 4 or 5, which like still isn't that bad.
Yeah. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Well, that was
All
our
right.
lists. No surprise, we both had golf courses up there. I was almost not going to include it because it kind of started, but I mean, come on. I'm the
Open her
premier.
up. Let's
I'm
go.
doing what I want. So
Yeah. So let us know what businesses you'd open up
Yeah.
and how you would keep them socially distant.
You don't even need to think of 5. You guys just write in and say, I want them to open hardware stores too, or I want them to open golf courses too. Just give us one thing. Just talk to us. Give us something. Now, last week we talked about we're on the precipice of episode 100. We're going to, I don't want to say unveil because then it sounds like we have stuff planned, but we're going to, move to phase 2 of the ScruffCast, which pretty much means everything exactly as it is now, but we're willing to change. What do you guys want in the next 100 episodes?
The next decade, or sorry, the next century of the ScruffCast.
Yeah. You guys need to let us know. And I mentioned it all last week, so then you guys had a lot of lead time to write in for the 100th episode. For the 100th episode, I know there's people out there, and you guys can't see because obviously it's an audio-only podcast, but I'm looking at the camera, and I'm giving you the point. Like, I know you're out there.
Yeah.
And maybe you're like, I'm too shy to write in. Now is the time to write in.
You can give a little disclaimer. Just be like, please don't say my name on the podcast. Which, unless it's somebody who's been on the podcast, we generally don't say their names.
No, we always just say the listener.
Nothing to worry about.
And sometimes they have names that we know and we don't reveal them.
Well, that's true too.
Sometimes
it's totally random people we don't know, obviously.
Yeah, they just followed us on Twitter. And they're like, hey, I totally love the ScruffCast.
Wow, thank you,
us on iTunes. We have only one review, and it says, great podcast and funny, amazing hosts. And it's by me.
Oy.
Unless it's been updated, but I doubt it.
All righty. Well, we hope your quarantine continues to go well, and hopefully we get some better news as the weeks go on here. Like I said, I'm aiming for episode 100 being in the studio. We'll see. It's a lofty goal, but I really hope we can make that happen. All right. John, anything you want to add?
I was just trying to look up and see how many episodes it was that we've done this way so far.
5, 6?
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th one.
Oh,
and then the one before that was emergency backup guest host, where my fiance Taryn filled in.
Which technically, was kind of one of them because we weren't really sure what the hell we were going to do.
The last episode we recorded together in person was March 18th, Corona time, it was called.
Wow.
Actually, earlier than that, because March 18th is when it released.
So March 16th.
Yes.
Crazy. All right. Well, that is it. That was episode 98 of the ScruffCast. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Got me like, oh, as I'm watching her go. All I'm thinking is, oh, damn, that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
Losing the connection again.